Hi, all you beautiful beings out there. Welcome back to Shelter in the Storm with A Course in Miracles, Lesson 29. We're going to leave off with just repeating the last few sentences of where we finished reading last night with the text. Part 6 of Fear and Conflict. We're still in Chapter 2. Here we go. Fear is always a sign of strain, arising whenever what you want conflicts with what you do. This situation arises in two ways. First, you can choose to do conflicting things, either simultaneously or successively. This produces conflicted behavior, which is intolerable to you, because the part of your mind that wants to do something else is outraged. Second, you can behave as you think you should, but without entirely wanting to do so. This produces consistent behavior, but entails great strain. In both cases, the mind and the behavior are out of accord, resulting in a situation in which you are doing what you do not wholly want to do. This arouses a sense of coercion that usually produces rage, and projection is likely to follow. Whenever there is fear, it is because you have not made up your mind. Your mind is therefore split, and your behavior inevitably becomes erratic. Correcting at the behavioral level can shift the error from the first to the second type, but will not obliterate the fear. It is possible to reach a state in which you bring your mind under my guidance without conscious effort, but this implies a willingness that you have not developed as yet. The Holy Spirit cannot ask more than you are willing to do. The strength to do comes from your undivided decision. There is no strain in doing God's will as soon as you recognize that it is also your own. The lesson here is quite simple, but particularly apt to be overlooked. I will therefore repeat it, urging you to listen. Only your mind can produce fear. It does so whenever it is conflicted in what it wants, producing inevitable strain because wanting and doing are discordant. This can be corrected only by accepting a unified goal. The first corrective step in undoing the error is to know first that the conflict is an expression of fear. Say to yourself that you must somehow have chosen not to love, or the fear could not have arisen. Then the whole process of correction becomes nothing more than a series of pragmatic steps in the larger process of accepting the atonement as the remedy. These steps may be summarized in this way. Know first that this is fear. Fear arises from lack of love. The only remedy for lack of love is perfect love. Perfect love is the atonement. I have emphasized that the miracle, or the expression of atonement, is always a sign of respect from the worthy to the worthy. The recognition of this worth is re-established by the atonement. It is obvious, then, that when you are afraid, you have placed yourself in a position where you need atonement. You have done something loveless, having chosen without love. This is precisely the situation for which the atonement was offered. The need for the remedy inspired its establishment. As long as you recognize only the need for the remedy, you will remain fearful. However, as soon as you accept the remedy, you have abolished the fear. This is how true healing occurs. Let's leave it there for tonight. And we'll move on to lesson number 29. God is in everything I see. The idea for today explains why you can see all purpose in everything. It explains why nothing is separate, by itself or in itself. And it explains why nothing you see means anything. In fact, it explains every idea we have used thus far, and all subsequent ones as well. Today's idea is the whole basis for vision. You will probably find this idea very difficult to grasp at this point. You may find it silly, irreverent, senseless, funny, and even objectionable. Certainly, God is not in a table, for example, as you see it. Yet, we emphasized yesterday that a table shares the purpose of the universe, and what shares the purpose of the universe shares the purpose of its creator. Try, then, today, to begin to learn how to look on all things with love, appreciation, and open-mindedness. You do not see them now. Would you know what is in them? Nothing is as it appears to you. Its holy purpose stands beyond your little range. When vision has shown you the holiness that lights up the world, you will understand today's idea perfectly, and you will not understand how you could ever have found it difficult. Our 6 2-minute practice periods for today should follow a now familiar pattern. Begin with repeating the idea to yourself, and then apply it to randomly chosen subjects about you, naming each one specifically. Try to avoid the tendency towards self-directed selection, which may be particularly tempting in connection with today's idea because of its wholly alien nature. Remember that any order you impose is equally alien to reality. Your list of subjects should therefore be as free from self-selection as possible. For example, a suitable list might include: God is in this coat hanger. God is in this magazine. God is in this finger. God is in this lamp. God is in that body. God is in that door. God is in that waste basket. That last one makes me laugh. They all make me giggle, actually. In addition to the assigned practice periods, repeat the idea for today at least once an hour, looking slowly about you as you say the words unhurriedly to yourself. At least once or twice, you should experience a sense of restfulness as you do this. My Freudian slips are interesting, aren't they? I just leave stuff out, say a word that sounds like that word. Okay, guys, let's move on to A Year of Forgiveness, Jesus channeling for lesson 29. God is in everything I see. You are blessed beings. Indeed, I am that one you know as Jesus. It is the truth. God is in everything that you see today. It is counter to your culture's teachings to see everything as sacred, whether it is a flea, a dirty diaper, a dead tree, or a car accident. To these things you say, God is not there. There is a great split created in your mind when you divide the world into things that are holy and unholy. You cannot feel safe in a world where God is 50% absent. Then you are faced with the consequence of that decision. Who is in charge of the other 50%? If it is not God in that 50%, what is in that 50%? Of course, this is where the idea of the devil, or Satan, has arisen. It reflects your split mind. It is not reality. God is in everything you see. You can rest assured of that. You must retrain your mind to believe it. And you won't believe it at first. That's okay. The ego will say, surely God is not in that. God can't be in that. You must understand the consequence of dividing the world into good and bad. It means you are not safe. It means there is a force invisible but equal in power to that of God. You have no idea where it lurks, what it is, or why it's there. That induces great or deep fear in you. Understand that this lesson is a profoundly peace-inducing lesson. It stops you from walking around in fear, waiting for the devil's hammer to hit you on the head. It is not going to happen, so why behave as if it is? God is in everything you see, including you. I am that one you know as Jesus, and we will see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much, dearest ones. Namaste.